You see, some people, we obviously, doing the programme we do, we talk quite a lot about people who feel that they've been discriminated against, who feel that maybe in the area of jobs and so forth. And yet you're saying that to someone coming from Brazil like yourself, this seems a good accepting place to be.
I am sure about that. I learned in England how to accept more the problem I had and how to tell people that I had a problem and to ask for some help.
And of course, in the end, you had those operations, didn't you? Largely, I think, persuaded by your wife, who we've not really mentioned as yet, but you in the end agreed to have those operations done.
Yes, I agreed, and my case was complicated because I just had one eye that would react to the operation. So if something would go wrong, I could lose that only eye that was the potential eye. So that was why a lot of ophthalmologists used to say to me, I wouldn't operate, I think your case, is a little bit risky. And I made a congenital cataract operation in both eyes. And when they took the bandage off my bad eye, I saw the image with the bad eye and I said, I could live with this eye for the rest of my life. It's much better than the good eye I have. So it was an amazing moment.
When both eyes had been operated on, can you remember how that felt?
I could talk for maybe 24 hours, 48 hours about that, because that was an amazing thing. I opened my eyes, they took out the bandage, and I looked to a little cupboard in front of me in wood with a handle in metal. And the handle was shining, and the wood had a lot of marks of the life of the wood. Then I saw a window, and through the window I saw this transparency and a whole city, and with brick buildings. And then I saw the face of my wife, Marianita, and I felt that the world just embraced me with things that I knew by touching, by feeling, and all of a sudden these characters came to welcome me. It was like to be born for the first time, but with a lot of knowledge. Not like a baby. A really, really amazing, emotional thing that I felt.
So that was really what struck you, the detail of things.
The colors, I said to Dr. Peter Raposa after one day, I telephoned to him and I said, listen, it's amazing. I'm seeing things for the first time in my life I never saw, but I need to get a medicine for the colors to come back to normal, because these colors are completely wrong. And Dr. Peter Raposa said, Marcelo, these are the colors that your retina never had contact with. Your brain will need to get used to that colors. And looking at you with this interview now, your blue pullover and your shirt, it's like a cartoon, really. It's so vivid, so screaming into my... Still, absolutely. I not used to it.
What did all this effect have on your career? Because I think you'd got to the point where you were losing work, weren't you?
Absolutely. When I got to my beginning of my 40 years old, I was accepting, instead of 60 concerts a year or 80 concerts, I was just able to give 15 or 10 concerts a year, which is very few for me. It changed my life absolutely, completely.
Looking back, have you ever speculated on what would have happened if you'd been allowed to accept your blindness? Because you'd have still had your talent, wouldn't you?
Yes, my wife, Marianita Luzzatti, was a very important person to help me realize that, and to help me realize that I should have asked more for society and accept my problem, because a lot of things would be easier for me if I would have done the other way around. I really think I should have studied in a special school, and I should be firm with people without a shame to ask whatever tools I could have to help me, cut time and effort, because it was so big, the day-by-day effort I used to make alone to try to hide that, if I would have done the other way around. I really think I should have studied in a special school, and I should be firm with people without a shame to ask whatever tools I could have to help me, cut time and effort, because it was so big, the day-by-day effort I used to make alone to try to hide that problem.
And yet, against the odds, you did become this successful, respected pianist. Because we can never tell, when you take a different turning, you never know quite what's going to happen, do you? In a sense, it wasn't from the school that you got it, it was from your father. Do you think that would still have happened?
There was something that the piano and music gave me, through which I could discover the world without any barrier. And the music I used like a bridge of communication with people. So I think I would have used music the same way, but I think it could be easier, to tell you the truth.
So if you were to have, say, a child with a visual impairment like your own, that's what you would do, is it? You would lead them towards kind of accepting rather than fighting.
Absolutely, I would, and I would make them proud, because people that have disabilities, they have so many other things, and they are not really different than the others, you know. They shouldn't feel different than the others. I think they should be part of the humanity, variety that we are. That is what I would teach my son or my daughter if they would have. And I would give to my child to help them cope with the problem and to make life easier.
Marcelo Bratke, thank you very much. It's been a great pleasure talking to you. That's In Touch for another week with me, Peter White, my producer, Cheryl Gabriel, and maybe, Marcelo, you could just play us out with something of your choosing.
Yes, let me play you a mazurka of Chopin that struck me so much when I was 14 years old. It goes like this. It's a very melancholic piece. Actually, the recording version is much better.
Marcelo Bratke ending tonight's In Touch. And the action line number again, just a reminder, is 0800 044 044.